Hey, good evening. My name is Lorenz. I work for growthepie, and my talk will be all about layer 2 scaling solutions on Ethereum. Who here has transacted on a layer 2 on Ethereum? Okay, quite a lot. That's good. Otherwise, this presentation would have made any sense. Perfect. So, today, my agenda. So, I think to really understand and answer the question, did layer 2s actually deliver on scaling Ethereum? We really have to take a step back and ask ourselves, okay, where did this actually came from? So I will go over that and then talk a little bit about, did layer 2s actually scale Ethereum? And then in the end, I have two hot takes for you, controversial opinions, but yeah, exciting stuff. Okay, so who here remembers when they transacted on Ethereum, having to pay really high gas fees? Perfect, yeah. I brought this screenshot, which is actually just 3 years ago. And you can see how one single Uniswap swap costs over $40. I mean, that's crazy, right? I mean, that's almost a two-person meal in Berlin just to swap some random tokens on a decentralized exchange. And the good thing is we came a long way, right? That's 3 years ago. Nowadays, it's way less, and if you transact on a layer 2, it's even just sub-cents. But how did we get here? So to answer that question is, we have to go back. And Vitalik himself, on October 2020, he posted a blog post called Rollup-centric Ethereum Roadmap. And that's where it all started. He was fed up with these high gas fees, and a solution had to be brought up. And Vitalik came up with a rollup-centric future, and to really make this rollup-centric future possible, which is the quickest way to scale the Ethereum execution layer, he basically said, yeah, let's forget about executing sharding, or like sharding in a way of execution layer, but rather let's shard data, because these layer 2 rollups, they use the most data possible. And if we can shard data, then we can actually accommodate such a rollup-centric Ethereum roadmap. So yeah, that's where then the researchers in 2022, right around where that screenshot was taken, came up with a concept called EIP 4844. And it's an Ethereum improvement protocol which introduces proto-dank sharding, or to be short, blob carrying transactions. And for that, that's already the data sharing aspect. Okay, so this is basically the rollup-centric Ethereum roadmap. So did it actually work out? And now the fun thing comes, because I want to share some colorful plots with you guys. So the question is, are you scaling Ethereum, son? So let's answer that question. So what you can see here is the weekly engagement within the Ethereum ecosystem. And it starts all the way in 2022, right around where that screenshot was taken. And you can see the blue bars, they are all Ethereum. And basically the Ethereum ecosystem back then was just Ethereum layer 1. Everyone had to go through these $50 transactions. But now with the introduction of EIP 4844, we can really see that the layer 2 ecosystem actually took off significantly. So the amount of active addresses increased significantly. And it's amazing because today we have around 5 times more transactions, or like active addresses, not users, active addresses, on these layer 2s rather than layer 1. Also, in the same time, the transaction fees plummeted significantly. So at the beginning of the layer 2 focused rollups, you had to pay several dollars of transaction fees. And with the introduction of EIP 4844 and the blob carrying transactions, this fee the layer 2s had to pay to Ethereum to settle reduced significantly, leading for them to forward this cost savings onto the user, and people had to pay way less. So all of a sudden, it only costs sub-cents to swap your tokens on Uniswap. And that's a significant improvement from before. Also, a cool plot which really highlights how much data is now being posted on Ethereum is if we only look at data posted. And at the beginning, before data sharding occurred with EIP 4844, we only had call data as an option to store data on Ethereum. So you can see how all the layer 2s had to really fight for including their data onto layer 1, which was very expensive as call data. But ever since EIP 4844 went live, they could really scale. And nowadays, around 3 gigabytes of data is being stored on Ethereum compared to only half a gigabyte 3 years ago. So data sharding is currently working, and you can see it live in this plot here. And the last plot I want to share is throughput. So I'm not sure if you guys know what gas is. Gas is basically a unit of account. So basically, if you transact, a transaction uses a certain amount of gas. Similar to how you drive around with your car, you need certain gas to get somewhere. And at the beginning, Ethereum currently throughputs around 1.5 mega gas per second, which sounds like a lot, but honestly, it's nothing. If you look down here, that's basically Ethereum. And nowadays, 2025, we throughput 60 mega gas per second. So basically 60x of what Ethereum originally can transact is now being transacted in the Ethereum ecosystem together with all the layer 2s and layer 1 together. So I think if my father comes into my door and asks, are we scaling Ethereum? I can say, yes, we are scaling. So I think that's a huge success. Okay, now to the spicy part, some hot takes. You probably heard about all this, wow, okay, we're scaling, but honestly, ETH as an asset is going to zero. Nobody needs ETH anymore, right? You have all the layer 2s you execute on. Why should ETH be valuable? And my first hot take is therefore that, if ETH wants to be successful, it needs to take on a long-term greedy strategy. And what do I mean with long-term greedy strategy? It's similar to, I guess, all your Amazon Prime subscriptions you get for free for 1 year, and then they make you pay in the second year, twice the amount basically. That's similar of a strategy I think ETH needs to, or Ethereum needs to apply to all these layer 2s. So we can really say yes, EIP 4844, sharing the, doing this data sharding is actually really parasitic to layer 1 because the amount of dollars these layer 2s had to pay to Ethereum in form of rent significantly dropped once it went live, right? Before they paid around 1 million per day, and now they're only paying $100,000 for settling on layer 1, these layer 2s. So that's actually really bad. But ultimately, ETH had to do this compromise, right? And this also causes ETH to inflate, right? Ever since it went live, Ethereum issuance has been up. But my take here is that a long-term greedy strategy is the only way to succeed. Yes, in the short term, we are losing on value. We are not getting a lot of money worth from all of these different layer 2s. But ultimately, if we not give up the most valuable part of running a chain, the MEV and congestion, we really wouldn't have scaled with our execution. So in my opinion, Ethereum should continue to increase the blob target, offer cheaper data to these layer 2s, and really get more layer 2s to build on Ethereum rather than alternative DA solutions. Because alt DA solutions like Celestia, they are really gaining market share over Ethereum blobs. And also, you can really see how Ethereum blobs are currently at the limit. So hopefully with the Pectra update, we can scale the Ethereum blob count. So getting to my last point, my second hot take. Everyone is complaining, wow, we have so many layer 2s. And every day I feel like I hear from a different exchange, oh, we are launching a layer 2, right? But in my opinion, that's good. We need more layer 2s. Because every layer 2 Okay, sure, in the short term, of course, we have more fragmentation. Like Kyle Samani always loves to point out that he holds 6 different Ethereums. But in the long run, more chains means more experiments. Increased competition fuels more innovation. And also, why would Arbitrum 1 become a stage 2 rollup if they didn't have any competition, right? So to really make security next level, to really push these change, we really need more layer 2s, more competition, and only the best ones will survive. Yeah, so thanks for listening, and let's scale Ethereum together.
Thank you so much.